everyone, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to do a project of a different kind. I'm going to be making a beauty blender holder. This is a Miracle Complexion sponge this is for makeup, and this is by Real Techniques. And this is a brand new one which is quite small, and then you have the one that's been dampened and it is much larger. Now I don't have a case, this is the one I use. It's a little bit stained but it is clean. This is one I use to apply my makeup, and it is really good at applying flawless makeup. So I decided that I wanted to make a holder out of necessity because I haven't been able to find anything in my local shops. I don't want to buy anything online because I want to be able to just take it home. And I haven't been able to find anything that I can use that allows for ventilation, especially for makeup sponges if they're left damp and there's not enough ventilation, of course they will develop mold, and you certainly cannot use that on your face and get infections. So I decided to come up with a holder myself, and what I'll be using is my stitch shape dies. This is from Stampin' Up. I'll be using the smallest die, the circle for that one, and I'm going to use the second from the bottom, this size as well, because it's got a nice large hole, but I'll see, it's between this one or the little one. I haven't decided yet. And you'll need some transparency sheets. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go through all the measurements and everything with you. This is very simple to make. You will need a scoreboard. So you'll need one sheet that is 4.5 by 4.5. Then you'll need one sheet as well that's, 10.25 by 4. So with the one that is 4.5 by 4.5, you're going to score that at 1 inch on all sides. This is very, very simple. So that's 1 inch on all 4 sides, and I've got one more here. Okay, we'll leave that to the side. And then with the 10.25 inch one, you're going to score at 1/4 inch. So I'll just do that there. At 1/4, 2.75, 5, 7.5, and then that's it. Okay, so I'll go through the measurements again. 1/4 inch, 2.75, 5, and 7.5. Okay, and we will leave them as is. Now what you'll need to bring is your die cutting machine. So I've got a big shot, so I'll be using that. Okay. Oh, and I'm missing a plate. Just bear with me for 1 second. I've got to find my other plate and I'll be back. Oops, I've just found my second plate. So with the one that's 4.5 by 4.5, we're going to pop that right there, and I'm going to get the smallest circle from the Stitch Shape Circles. I'm going to pop that right in the middle of that. Now it's very hard to see, but I'll show you with my scoreboard because it's dark enough. So you just put that in the middle there. I'm going to put some painter's tape, secure that in place, and we're going to cut that out. Okay, and that will give you there's the it's cut out with the details, so that turned out really nice. But that's the circle we're after, right? If you can see that, right in the middle. Okay, then on the 10.25 inch one, okay, I'll bring back my scoreboard. So on the 10 1/4 inch one, we're going to cut a hole, basically. I'm going to cut it right in the middle of that, and I'll do that for all 4 sides. So this will give ventilation for your sponge. Okay, so I'll make sure it's, you know, somewhat in the middle, and I'm using the second largest circle. So we're going to put that through the big shot, and on this bit I will probably make it go faster. So I'll see you in a minute. That away, but I might bring back my scoreboard only because it's easier to see with it. So I'll just take off my tape. Oops. And look at that detail. It's cute, but we'll leave that for something else. Alright, so I've just finished now. I'll put this away. So as you can see here, we've got the ventilation holes, and we've got that one as well. Okay, so what we're going to do with that is we're going to cut up the score lines of these ones. So I'll just miter it in, just helps to put that in. So it looks like that. Pop that away for the time being, as it is a little distracting. And then do the same on that one. Miter that in a little bit. Go around like that. And last one. So I'll do all the cutting in one hit. And then on this one, we're just going to miter the edges of that one there, and that's it. Nothing else. It's very simple to make. So can you see that now? And then this one over here. All right, now with that, what we're going to do is we're going to get some tear and tape. You need some good double-sided tape. So, okay. Sorry, it's a bit dusty and it shows up. All right, so I'm going to put some tape on the edges. So this is really good. So I'm just going to put some here. You just tear it. And it's quite sticky, but you need a nice, good, strong adhesive like that. Just keep putting that on. Oops. Left a bit much there, but that doesn't matter. And then go here. All right. So what we'll do with these is we're going to take off the adhesive. So I'm just going to use my scissors just to help me along. And any leftover bits, just put it in on itself. That over there, and last one. All right, so now we're going to put this on, and it's like a lid. So with regards to your score lines, I didn't pre-do those. I mean, I didn't whatchamacallit. I didn't burnish them, so I'm just doing that now as I go along, and just makes it easy for you to put it in. and it doesn't warp it unnecessarily. So just put it together like a regular box. Okay, so just do a very, very tiny, you don't even need a bone folder, you just do it with your fingers because it is transparency after all. You can use Stampin' Up's window sheet, you can use transparencies. I'm using binding covers that I've bought from my local shop, their local Office Works. You can buy them from Staples or wherever else. Let's put that together there and give it a little burnish, not too much. And one last one, and then we put it together like that. So it now looks like, just make sure you do it, give it a good burnish. Oops. Like that, so it sits nicely. Just use your fingers and it will sit nicely. Okay, so I'm going to now get my, so it looks like that. So I'm going to get my beauty sponge, and it will give me clearance as well from the bottom. So as you can see there, it looks like that. Okay, so you have clearance on the bottom. All right, so I'll pop this to one side over here, and I want to now get this a little bit burnished. So I'll just burnish it very gently. Just fold on those lines very, very carefully. And then on that 1/4 of an inch right there. Okay, so on that 1/4 of an inch, we're going to put some tear and tape just on that. Now it will be a little bit wider, but as I said with the excess, you can just push it back. So we'll keep that on, and then in the meantime, I'm going to bring this back, and I'm just going to add tape all along their sides there. So make sure, you know, pinch it nicely so it sits nicely. Okay, so, whoops, I'm going to put tape all along here from the top there, all along like that. And I'm going to tear it and just release it as I go along so I don't make a big mess. Oops, that's coming off my fingers. And the reason why I like transparency is it won't grow mold. So that's why I'm using it. You can't use cardboard on that. It'll look terrible. And one last one here. All right. Okay. Now on one of these, I'm going to release the backing. And we're going to start with one of the sides. So we'll start off with this side. So this now will go flush to the bottom of the box, that lid part. So let's start off with, so make sure it is flush like that. Okay, and then we'll release the second one. Straighten that out. So very, very carefully, make sure you keep it nice and taut. You go like Oh, I think I'm off with the measurements. Yeah, I'm way off. Okay, I made a mistake with this. So, bear with me, and I will give you the measurements in a minute. Okay. What I had to do is, the measurements were correct before, but I had scored in the wrong places. So the scoring is meant to be 0.25, 2.75, 5.25, 7 3/4. So that's where you're supposed to score. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting this together. So we're going to start from this one, and we're going to make sure that that's flush on the bottom, like that. Okay. So this sits like this. It'll sit like that. It looks messy, but hey, there's nothing you can do about that. It's transparency. So we'll just keep getting the backings off one by one to prevent a mess, and just make sure that that is flush. Okay, so it looks like that. Then take that off. And make sure it's down the bottom like that, and it goes like, luckily it's transparency, so it keeps it like, sorry, keep it like that. Okay, so it kind of looks like that on the bottom. One more. It looks messy, but I think it will do the job, so it's a very practical project, this one. Okay, one more here. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the backing. So make sure it's really flush. I'm going to take off the backing off that 1/4 inch. Like that. Oops. And then we make sure that it sticks on itself. So make sure you pull it all the way. So I'll just redo that, but pull that, make sure it's nice and tight. Pull that, make sure it's nice and tight. And then you will have your beauty blender holder. So there we go. So it looks like that. So now I'm going to put my beauty blender in there, and it has loads of ventilation. So even this is on the wet side, loads of ventilation all around it, and it won't grow mold on you, and it will sit nicely, and it still has room all around it to make sure you don't grow mold. So I hope you like this project. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a message below this video with a comment, and I will get back to you in 24 hours. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's project, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.